keep myself out of the rain. So back smoking without complaint. Sit by my head, you're singing on songs about change. Everybody's got their cross to bear these days.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Hopefully, everyone's feeling well. Everyone had a great weekend. I'm also the founder of Red Dog Mindset. Ha. MLD, you know the story. I, I should have put. I'm gonna frame him. Anyway, I'm sure by this point everyone knows the news. By the way, this is the Alpha team. So this is what just came out. Probably you see that flash, right? I just trimmed a little bit. Tesla was one of my bigger positions from last week, so that's cool. So what happened? What came out? Elon Musk just filed a Form 4 showing insider purchases of 1.9 million shares on September 12th. The price is between 371 and 396. He must have read my note. I think I got better prices than him because we sent out the power plays for Tesla shares right on this day. So this was September 11th when it got above 355, 357. That was when we sent out a power play to all of our power play subs, and it's a very, very cheap product. Anyway, and so that was that was the day that it kind of showed its face, and then you had your follow through Friday, and now Tesla is trading at 420. So that's beautiful. Listen, you didn't have to know, but somebody was buying it. There was no news, and it just hit 425. By the way, on the Alpha team, my options don't show up till 8:15, so I have a bunch of options on also. Tesla call sellers are getting smoked. I don't know who the hell would sell calls naked for Tesla after a 2-day breakout. They deserve to not. No one deserves to get smoked. I don't like when anyone gets caught. When anyone gets smoked, it's fine. But anyway, I'm just excited for for my community. A lot of guys went out really happy on Friday with this 2-day move, and we stayed with it. I actually rolled some calls up. I have the 405s, so at least I can't sell those until the market opens. So I'll be stuck in there. Tesla was a great VCP. What's a VCP? Anyway, it was what's it called? We have two products, power plays and power play options. So we also have it as a power play option. So anyway, enough about that. With that being said, it makes sense. It's a good book. I talk about the good book in trading all the time. You have a chart pattern. It ignites. You're above the 8-day moving average. It showed relative strength. That's why I've also created Red Dog Mindset, so you could think clearly and execute with confidence. I'm telling you, I was really friggin' frustrated here. I tried it twice 2 days before. I lost money. Stock came in twice. I got stopped out at lunchtime, but then when it went again, I was like, the stock doesn't remember that I tried it 2 days before when it wasn't ready. So boom, by developing your go time and knowing what to look for and how to look for it, you go after it. So anyway, pretty much went after it, had a maxed out call spread on Friday, and then I rolled them up, and I actually have them straight calls. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, moving on. Other names, you know what hurt me last week? Amazon hurt a little bit. Amazon, came in a bunch after that Oracle news. Remember, Oracle came out and, upped their guidance for however long they upped their guidance. Well, some people thought maybe they were going to be purchasing, the cloud products from Oracle and from some others instead of Amazon. So Amazon got hit pretty fast. But I don't think that's a true story. I feel like, some of the wirehouses are going to come out and negate it. So what did I do? I went out and I bought options 2 weeks out. I bought the 240s out 2 weeks to give it some time, and now we'll see does 226 hold. Hopefully this holds and it repairs fast. Apple repaired very fast. Like Apple, my goodness, Apple. Look how quickly this thing came back, which is good. Unfortunately, I didn't go back to it. We had Apple on as a power play, made a lot of money. We kept the third. And right away, this already took back over, the entire post-event decline, which I said they always sell the event, and then, the stupid sellers are out of the way, and then long-term Apple investors do very, very well. Um, this one day though, they let it go one extra day, which kind of threw me off. But I'll live. I'll live. Kenneth Rosenberg says when Tesla goes up, sister, uh, everyone's gonna look for like Me Too plays. All right, who's this? Kenneth is also saying Open. What's Open doing today? Open is, let's see, what is Open doing today? It's up 40 cents. That was a great trade also for a lot of you guys who were buying the 8 day, but I'm not going to get into that. All right, so what else is happening coming up? So Nvidia is down. Okay, Nvidia, there was some news out of China that Nvidia is deemed a monopoly. It was looking like some nice digestion above this gap. So we're going to have to see what happens here this morning. Does it open and put a low in the first, 5, 15, 30 minutes, or does it really affect, the trade of the week for Nvidia? I'm small here, thank goodness, and thank God Tesla's up so much that it makes up for everything. So with that being said, where's Nvidia right now? Nvidia's only down 380. I think this is a buying opportunity. I'm probably going to add to it. What I might do also is I might go out like a month and buy the 185 calls just to have. I was thinking the news out of China would be that they could sell there, not this. But anyway, that hurts. So Microsoft, someone's asked me, is Microsoft better now? I will say it's a start. Look at Microsoft right here. Microsoft finally was able to have some commitment to this, to that, to the move on Friday. Microsoft is down 350, which would be annoying. I would think there are some traders that are long Microsoft after this candle. That was a nice looking candle. But it's not the end of the world. What's this low here? This low here is 503.87. So I would think if Microsoft is any good this week, and it hasn't been good since earnings, it's got to hold this 504. If it doesn't hold 504, I would think that you just got to stay away from it for a while, I guess. That would be a little unfortunate. Right now, crypto's down a little bit. Some people are like, Red Dog, why is crypto down? I don't think it's a big deal. Ethereum had a big move. This is a big move for Ethereum last week. I was accumulating it in here. I'm smaller. I will probably buy a little bit back. This is 38.54. So 38.54 is the high here. You would think after the move that it had last week, some of these things you would have been trimming some, so it's not the end of the world. This low here is what, 37.16. Here's your gap. I would think if Ethereum's going to have some power and continue, that it'll hold this 37 area. So I will be buying more Ethereum. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin charts so it shows you the weekend. Let's go. Let me show you this. By the way, you guys see Grab? Grab was pretty good too. Wow. No one started talking about Grab. Grab is the baby, whatever it's called. Where's Bitcoin? The baby Dash, which is all right. So let's see. So where should you be buying Bitcoin back? Well, first of all, little topping tail. We were buying Bitcoin in here. This was your ad. Hopefully you trim some. I'm in some. I'm smaller. Where should it hold? I'd like to see it hold around here. What's this? This is 113.4. So 113.4 is probably a spot, that it should hold if it's going to continue this trend, right? You have a trend here. You have your low of 107, and then you have a low of right here. So if it's going to follow the same pattern, you would think you could be buying Bitcoin somewhere into this 113.4, which for IBIT, you would think you could buy 65.22-ish. It shouldn't break back below there. That would be annoying. All of a sudden give back a candle like that. So this would be a good spot to hold 65.22. 65.22. 65. Let's see. 65.22. What else we got going on here? Some people are asking me, what about China? China was down a little bit. Bob has been really good. Bob had an inside day. We took off the power plays though. We had the power plays down here. I'm not in this. I thought maybe a little bit more inside action, which is fine. So, but Bob and I do a great. I did buy more JD into this pullback. I figured, we were buying the $33 calls here. So into this move, I sold most of them. And then now I was thinking of buying the 35s or 37s a few weeks out. If you look at the weekly chart, JD is just kind of coming out of this. So you would think that he could still buy JD even just for a move back up to here. I would think 37-ish. All right, so these are my dogs talking around the world. Ken likes to talk a lot. He adds some volume. Why no volume bars? Because this is just the 630 Club. If you want the volume bars and you want everything. By the way, we're doing an open house. An open house for the Alpha team. What's an open house? It means you can come in for the next 4 days, Tuesday through Friday, and hang out with the Alpha team all week. Get the morning call. You'll see the 40 charts that I do after this. I'm on the radio from 9:15 to 11:30. You see how I navigate my positions, and more importantly, you see how I have a consistent daily routine. I'm up every day at 4:45. I'm looking at what's happening around the world after drinking a huge glass of water, getting my mind right. I go in the sauna for 20 minutes with a few hundred of my friends around the world. I do a 20-minute sauna workout, talk a little life, a little stocks, think about the week, think about some family, think about some mistakes. Boom, come here. Then the 6:30 Club, which you're watching. And then from 7 to 8, we listen to music. I do all my charts, and then I do the morning call at 8:15. So there's a lot going on. Some of you guys wake up at 9 o'clock and think you're just going to make money. What's in play? You're not making money for a career doing that. But anyway, QS looking good, Adam Bush says. ASTS is up 250. Oh, I bought a lot of options. Woo, that's a good thing. All right. I guess the gods like the dog today. Why? Because maybe I did a mitzvah. What's a mitzvah? No. What's going on here? Hold on. This has got to go over here. Hold on. Let's take this and put this back up here. What's going on here, Conrad? Hold on. There we go. Anyway, I thought there was something interesting about this. So someone mentioned, first let's do QS. QS, let's go to the daily. This just annoyed me. Like I was long QS in here. I added to it and had to fill the gap, come all the way down. Like that's tough trading, but it does look better. The hard battery technology is supposed to be really, really good. Go further than the lithium. But anyway, so that does look all right. I did buy a lot more ASTS options. I should have bought the stock also. Why? This thing got caught in a short report with RKLB. Then meanwhile, RKLB, they didn't care. Look at this thing. This is the leader. It's a little different than ASTS, obviously, but they kind of trade together. So this looks pretty awesome. So I was like, you know what? Let me buy more ASTS calls down here. I got rid of most of it when it broke 46 technically. I'm like, this story is not over. I don't care what anyone says. I know institutions that are continuing to buy it. So we played this move, played that move, and then I started accumulating a little bit in here, and then that hurt. So we got out of the way with the stock. So I bought some options. I think we can get back up towards 45-ish. So someone said it's up 3 or 250. $1.50, not 250. Come on. Got me excited. Anyway, it's cool. ASS, remember there are ETFs that buy and sell these. Thank you, sir. IONQ. Wow, wasn't that awesome? So last week I was on with my guys, the guys I do at 30. We do stocks at 3 o'clock, stocks at 3 o'clock. By the way, today I can't be on that. I'm going to a golf outing. One of my best friends is running a golf outing, and it's at Trump in Westchester. Oh my God, I'm a bad guy. I'm going to a Trump golf course. Anyway, going with my dad. My dad's birthday today. Papa Red Dog turns 81 today. He came in for the weekend. He came to Oktoberfest. We've been hanging out. Yesterday, he had some nice tomahawks. We had a good barbecue, so I'm taking him to the golf outing, so I'll be here till 11:30. That's why the open house isn't Monday through Friday. It's Tuesday through Friday because today I have to leave. But anyway, I was showing this chart for IONQ, earlier in the week saying it's looking good, looking ready to go, and a lot of guys made a lot of money there. I focused on RGTI, which was great. Was buying it in here. I still have a whole bunch. If you think the other names are going to play catch up, QUBT has a lot of room. This is $21. It just poked its head up. I would think this is still buyable today, to play catch up. That's QUBT, which is quantum, obviously the quantum computing group. And then QBTS looks a little bit better. It's always good to go with the leader, but as the leader goes, these things come back up. That's right, Pony Boy. I won't hold it against you. Pony. What's that doing today? It's hanging in here. I would think that you could accumulate this. I'm accumulating some options. I'm going out a month because at some point there's going to be some big news here. I would think it's going to take out 16 and get into the 21 area. And right now it's taking its time. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's something to have on. A lot of my friends also are accumulating this NBIS again. Last time they accumulated was in here. Now I think you could be long versus gap. So 86.12. Some people like Red Dog. What do you do for a living? I frame trades. I try and give people an idea on how to frame a trade so they can quantify their risk. So if you're in this share wise, you're long versus 86, because if 86 doesn't hold, this could get filled and it's going to take a long time. If this goes sideways, and then starts to take out this 100, that'd be pretty good. So you could do two things. You can go out a month and buy like the $105 calls, or you could be in the shares versus 86.12, something like that. BITF day, CRWD is looking for attention. That's been horrible. Joe, I like that one, by the way. CRWV. Yeah, what's it? It came in a lot actually since then. I wonder if it's down with the China news. If you feel like you missed something there, maybe that's viable now. What's that? CRWV. Oh, it's not. It's not getting hit with that. It filled this gap, I think. So, yeah, it's trying to rebuild. It's not really special, but it's fine. One of the better semis. Let it go sideways here. Not so bad. BMNR had a big move with all those names. I tried to focus on this down here with you guys. Probably down a little bit today because Ethereum's down. Nice move. I screwed that up. I'll be quite honest. I was buying the stock below 40 and I sold it like 42, 44 when all of those treasury stocks came out. CRWD. Why is everyone talking about CRWD? CrowdStrike. Let's see. Is it up? Is it doing anything today? Or it's up $1.30. Yeah, it's kind of broken name. Needs some time. Pain in the butt. Anyway, kind of says QUBT. Yeah, RGT. All of them. They have 2Xs. Listen, I just want to let you guys know, for those of you who trade the 2Xs and the 3Xs and the 4Xs, that's fine. Just be careful with them because they're built to fail. the decay in there, they suck things out. Just be careful. I know it's good. Like if you look at Tesla, I was sitting here buying Tesla options, and everyone's like, Red Dog, why don't you play TSLL? Sometimes I do, but I just don't think it's necessary sometimes. But yeah, hey, look, if you, it all depends, like also your mentality a little bit, because some people have a hard time trading a $400 stock, and they'd rather, instead of buying 500 shares of 400, they'd rather buy 3,000 shares here. I get it. That's cool. So where do you think TSS, where's resistance here? So this is 2150. Where is it now? Let's see what's Tesla doing right now. Did it pull in a little bit? Not much. 19-ish. So where's that on this chart? It's right here. All right. Where do I think it can go? First, we'll see. We'll see how much of today's gap holds. It's already through 412. This is your next point of reference, really, here. 440. This was remember that topping tail, 439, 465. These are your three levels. This is already filled. Goodbye. 412.50 is gone too. So this is really your next spot of resistance. I don't know if it'll get there today. It doesn't have to, but I'm sure that anyone short, it's going to be like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be short versus that. And I don't think anyone, these are macro shorts or short Tesla. I don't think any traders went out short Tesla. You're not going out short Tesla after a 2-day breakout, after being sideways for 4 months and being in a range literally for 2 years, unless you're, anyway. MLD today might, what would you say? Today might be the day for SanDisk. Oh, it cracks. What other stock in the Tesla group? I don't know. I have Rivian, but Rivian, got really crazy the other day. It might be just Tesla. I bought what I bought calls for Rivian out a month just in case. I thought it was acting better, or looked better. So we'll see what happens today if any stocks in the group go, but it might be just Tesla. We'll see. Is Rivian even up a little bit today? Let's see. It's up 8 cents. So nothing's going up in sympathy. Amazon's up $2. That's good. Let's see what's Amazon. Up, up $4. Red Dog needed that. All right. IO and QB Riley reiterate to buy. Okay. Um, by the way, Joby, some early volume. Did I take Joby? I feel like I bought Joby. Yeah, I have Joby. Let's see what's Joby doing. Joby. Oh, 50 cents. All right, guys. Anyway, listen, it's 6:54. I appreciate you guys. There's a lot going on everywhere. Um, you know, just guys, the only thing I'm going to say is, everyone's like, Red Dog, you've been doing this for so long. How do you do this for so long? I do it because A, I love to do it, and B, I have a routine and process that I like to do. I like to get up. I'm an early morning guy. I love to work out in the morning. I already did that. I sweat in the sauna, listen to really cool music that I like, usually 80s rock for a good 25 minutes. And now I package it and people do it with me, which is fun. And a lot of people sending me really nice messages that they're in great shape. They feel good. Their mind is crisp. That's cool. Um, and then I sit here, I'm listening to Bon Jovi radio. I'm talking to you guys on the 630 Club. And this is at 7 o'clock, I'm going to sit. I'm going to put 40 charts into the Alpha team that you guys are allowed to become, do an open house this week. Use your resources. There's a lot of resources out there. A lot of people complaining out there. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of resources out there that you could use, even besides me. A lot of great traders out there, a lot of great, technicians. Just turn off the TV. Turn off CNBC. Turn off Bloomberg. Turn off all those guys, because they're not going to frame out trades for you. They're not going to help you with your risk. They're just reporting some news, and sometimes they put a bias on it that that you don't need. But anyway, with that being said, Kenneth Rosen says, I love the 520 Club. That's awesome, Ken. I appreciate you. And that's that. I got to jump 6:55. Hopefully, I'll see you on the Alpha team tomorrow if you're not there already. And listen, if you get value from the 630 Club, you should subscribe above, because at some point, I'm not telling you when it's going to be, a lot of things are going to change. If you want to be grandfathered into the 630 Club for $10 a month, that's like 30 cents a day. You can be grandfathered in. This is $4.59, actually $5. I always leave the extra 40 cents for them. Sometimes I leave a little bit more than that. Subscribe above. Been doing the 630 Club since 2020. You know what? You'll make a lot more money if you do so, I think. Anyway, a lot of different ways to go about whatever you want your day to be, but I think a lot of people enjoy the way we do it here. So be well, my friends. Cheers, Jim.